Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about identity function from the topic some functions and their graphs from the chapter 2 relations and functions class 11 max. We will be discussing all other functions like constant function, polynomial function etc. in our coming videos which will be available in the playlist. Now let us see what is an identity function. Suppose we define a real valued function f such that f is defined from R to R, where R is a set of real numbers. See, f is defined from R to R by f of x is equal to x for each x belongs to the real number set R. You see, f of x means function of x that is represented by the letter y. So, y equals f of x, which is a function of x. That such a function is actually called as identity function. That is, in simple words, we can say that the function which is of the form f of x equals x is an identity function. Don't worry about this definition, just see this definition. The functions which are of the form f of x is equal to x, that is an identity function. Okay. That is, see, we have this function f of x equals x. The function which is of this form, that is actually called as an identity function. That is, when we put x equal to 0, what about y value? Y means function of x, which is f of x. That will be equal to what? F of x is actually x. So, in the place of x, you have to substitute 0. So, this will be 0. Okay, when x is equal to 2, what about f of x? You just want to substitute x as 2. So, 2. When x is equal to 4, f of x will be 4. X is equal to 6, f of x will be 6. When x is equal to minus 2, what about f of x? F of x is actually equal to x. So, when x is equal to minus 2, you want to substitute this x as minus 2. So, minus 2. When x is equal to minus 4, f of x will be minus 4. When x is equal to minus 6, f of x will be minus 6 and so on. Okay, so you see, here we have the x values like 0, 2, 4, 6, minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, etc. And we have y values or f of x values the same 0, 2, 4, 6, minus 2, minus 4, minus 6 like that. So the function which is represented by this form, that is f of x equals x, that function is actually called as an identity function. That is, when you put x equal to 0, you are getting f of x as 0. When you put x is equal to 6, you are getting f of x as 6. When you put x is equal to minus 4, you are getting f of x as minus 4. Okay, so you are getting the same values here. Such a function is actually called as an identity function. Now, let us see how to represent this identity function using a graph. So, for that, here you see I have x values here. This axis I have just taken as x dash, on which we have negative x values. Here we have y values. Y means it is a function of x, f of x. Here we have y dash axis, that's all. This is the origin 0. Okay, now you see, for x is equal to 0, see, for x is equal to 0, f of x is 0. So, when x is equal to 0, f of x is 0, f of x means y value is 0. So, that point will be here. Now, when x is equal to 2, we have f of x as 2. F of x means y. So, when x is 2, y is 2. So, x2, y2, you will get this point. Okay, when x is equal to 4, f of x is 4. So, x value 4, y value also 4, you will get this point. Similarly, 6, 6. So, x 6, y 6. So, you will get a value here, a point here. Okay, similarly, when x is equal to minus 2, f of x is minus 2. So, x value minus 2, x value minus 2, f of x, that is y value minus 2. So, we will get this point. Minus 4, minus 4. So, minus 4, minus 4, we will get a point here. Minus 6, minus 6, minus 6, minus 6, we will get a point here. Okay, now let us join all these points. So, when we join all these points, you see, we are actually getting a straight line graph like this. Okay, so for an identity function, the graph is a straight line and it passes through the origin. Okay, now you see, for an identity function, the domain and range of this function both are real values. What do you mean by domain? Domain means x values. So you see x values are 0, 2, 4, 6, etc. minus 2, minus 4, etc. What about the range? Range means y values or f of x values 0, 2, 4, 6, minus 2, minus 4, minus 6 and so on. So for an identity function, both the domain and range of this function, that is x values and y values, they are real numbers. Okay. So in this video, we have just discussed about the identity function. From the topic some functions and their graphs, we will be discussing the other functions like constant function, polynomial function, etc. in our coming videos, which will be available in the playlist. I hope it is clear to you. Thank you.